It's the guy who likes movies, the guy who likes movies, the guy who likes movies podcast. It's the guy who likes movies, the guy who likes movies, the guy who likes movies podcast. I be rolling up a doobie, the vibes rolling through me. It's the guy who likes movies podcast. What?
Welcome back, party people. This is episode 2 of the Guy Who Likes Movies podcast, and we're back. We are back to talk about a movie. Excuse me, I got a sniff on my nose. I know that sounded great on my HD microphone, so you're welcome, podcast listeners. You really got to get the whole experience. If I'm sick, you're sick with me. That's just kind of how it works. If I feel like shit, you feel like shit. If I'm jovial, maybe perhaps you are. I pass it on. I pass on the vibes and feelings. I hope you can get down with that. Any hoodle people, we're talking about Obsession today. We're talking about a movie. I saw this movie probably more than a month ago, which is funny because I feel like I could still talk about this movie as if I saw it yesterday. I remember this movie so well. Probably because I've talked about it for days on end with friends. It is a movie that just kind of lasts in your noggin for a while. It just kind of roams around in there. You're like, what the fuck did I just watch? In the best way. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Obsession, 2026's new horror movie. Quite the hit. I've not seen a horror movie have such a response like this, which is great to see. I love that. I mean, I've been saying this for a while. I think horror movies have been putting butts in seats, god damn it. Horror movies are saving the goddamn movie genre. They're getting people to go in theaters, baby. We love to see it. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Obsession. And speaking of, we're actually going to move to the movie news corner, which Obsession will sort of be a little subsect of that. And you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. But we're going to be talking about movie budgets, people. It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. It's a big part of why these movies aren't doing so well. It's a big part of why Hollywood's failing in general. You know, they pump out these $200 million movies, and sure, they might do well, but only, you know, they can only do so well. You know, you make a movie for $200 million, you know, and it makes $220 million. Congrats, you made $20 million profit. Not bad. And then you got movies like Obsession that are made for less than $1 million, and they make that same amount of money back, but you get $200 million back. Look at that fucking profit. We need to take more risks on young filmmakers, new ideas. I mean, everything's a goddamn fucking reboot nowadays. Everything's a goddamn reboot. Moana live action. How long ago did that fucking movie come out? People need to see it again? You're gonna go pay to go see the same movie you already saw? Oh, but The Rock's in it this time, and you're gonna see his big fucking homunculus hunk of a body. That's cool. I don't care. Why are we making live action movies of movies we've already seen? We make these movies animated because you're able to do so much more with animation. And you're just dwindling that down with the live action. Oh, but it looks so much better. Get fucked. Get fucked, people. I mean, come on. If you don't look at Disney and just go, this is the most greedy, fucking just pumping out garbage. Just straight horseshit. And they don't care. They don't care. And you're going to pay for it, people. You're the one supplying it. I'm sorry. I'm not yelling at you, people. I'm not mad at you. I don't blame you. I'm going to fix my mic a little bit here. You might hear a little bit of a readjustment. I'm not blaming you, people. I'm just saying we need to make cheaper movies. That's the problem. Okay, here's an example. Joker 1, that's a movie I liked. I think a lot of people like that movie for the most part. That movie was made for, if I'm not mistaken, a budget of $50, maybe even $40 million, which isn't that much compared to what most sort of blockbuster movies would be. And that movie made a fuck ton of money. It did really well. They made a lot of profit off of that money. He made like $200 million back. Then fast forward to Joker 2, Filet-O-Doo, which, holy shit, if we did an episode about that, I hate that movie so much. But this is not the Joker Filet-O-Doo episode. So we're not going to talk about 20 minutes on how dog shit that movie is. We're just going to talk about the fact that that's a sequel to a movie. The original was made for $40, maybe $50 million. The sequel, however, was made for $210 million. What the fuck are we doing, people? What is wrong? What is wrong here? Directed by the same man, mind you, that made the original for $40 million. Like, dude, you can do it. Why do you need triple the amount of your budget to make the same goddamn movie? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It doesn't. Hire somebody that can make the movie for a cheaper price. That's what I say. If you go to a director and he's like, yeah, I can make this movie for about $220 million. Fucking pass on that guy and go ask the other guy if he can make it for $100 million. And then ask the next guy if he can make it for $50. I mean, what are we doing out here? So Obsession is a great example of that. That's a movie that was made for less than $1 million. Look at the amount of money that movie has made, people. You don't need an expensive budget to get people into seats. You need a good idea. Something original. Which is, and I mean, we'll get to it, which is what I think is so great about Obsession, is that it's really, as original as I think it is, it's really not at the same time. You know, the monkey's paw idea, the sort of careful what you wish for, that's an idea that's been explored a bunch, but the way he was able to do it was just unique, you know, like the execution of it all. So, another great example recently, and maybe we'll do an episode about this, I'm not sure. Maybe when it gets re-released, and I might rewatch it, because this might be a movie that warrants a rewatch. But The Backrooms by Kane Parsons, another young up-and-coming director. Made for very cheap, that movie. Made a lot of money. I mean, that month of May was a crazy month for horror in general. But if that doesn't scream that, like, hey, young up-and-coming filmmakers are the way to go, Hollywood. Fucking bank all your money on these people. I mean, holy shit. The studio that banked on Obsession could not be more fucking happy. They literally hit the goddamn lottery, okay? It's not your Marv... Dude, you want to hear something insane? A Star Wars movie came out the same month as May. A Star Wars movie. Guess which movie made more money? Obsession! Over a Star Wars movie. The tides are turning, people, I'm telling you. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. What it is. Backrooms is a great movie. If you haven't seen Backrooms, go see that. Yeah, great month for horror in general, man. I saw Hokum too. We'll sort of get into that a little later. I was thinking maybe a segment I could do is talk about movies for a short segment of time that I've been watching recently that I probably don't feel as if I'll do a whole episode about. So yeah, I saw Hokum a while ago. Yeah, dude, it was okay. I know a lot of people really like this movie. I thought the vibes were cool. I love Adam Scott. I'll watch anything Adam Scott is in. I thought he gave a good performance. There's like a gird. What the hell was that? There was like a good, like 30-minute section of the movie that feels like a goddamn Resident Evil game. Like, it's so good. It's so tight and compact and like stressful. But this was sort of marketed as a witch movie, and they didn't really have that. So I was a little disappointed. Just based off the way the movie was marketed. But that's not, you know, that could also be my fault a little bit for just going in with sort of certain expectations. That's always a problem. People go to movies with expectations, expecting one thing, you get something else. But yeah, I thought it, overall, I thought it was fun. It's just one of those horror movies that I watched. I didn't really think about it that much, and I was like, I'll probably maybe never rewatch it again. Maybe. But I was super excited because I love Adam Scott. But I just thought it was alright for the most part. Fucking, I think another movie I'll do that I saw in theaters recently, Jackass Forever. If you haven't seen this movie in theaters, I suggest go seeing it. Is it the best Jackass movie? No. Not even close, really. But it's a Jackass movie, dude. Like, when's another chance you're gonna be able to go see a movie like that in theaters, laugh like that in theaters? It's worth it. Go with your friends, go see this movie. It was an amazing time. I will say it's the only Jackass movie to ever get me emotional. I got, like, really emotional watching this movie. Like, towards the end, I don't want to spoil it, but it gets you in your feels a little bit, and I was not expecting that. I mean, I guess it makes sense, it's a part of my childhood. Those movies were a big part of my childhood growing up. So, to see that sort of door closed off forever and be like, I'm never going to see these guys again. It was very sad. It was a bittersweet ending to the series. I recommend going to go see it with a group of friends, as you should. Crazy that I would recommend Jackass Forever over Hokum any day. Go see Jackass, people. Alright. We're 10 minutes in. We're pretty far in. I think we can get to the movie at hand. We're talking about Obsession today, folks. Directed by Curry Barker. I was not aware... Actually, that's not true. I was aware of his sort of internet shtick online, Curry Barker, for those who don't know, sort of does like a comedy... Just does comedy skits on YouTube with him and his friends, and they're pretty fucking funny. They're great. I've definitely seen him on Instagram before, just scrolling through, and I'm sure you have before too. He does great skits. They're hilarious. Luckily and thankfully, he sort of worked that comedy from his sketches into this movie in a way that doesn't feel forced, but it still feels like, I'm watching a Curry Barker project, and you can tell if you had seen his sketches before, which I thought that was really cool. But let's get into the movie at hand, and I think the first thing I gotta talk about here is, and I hope I'm saying her name right. I know everyone on the internet's kind of having a frenzy on how to pronounce this name, but Indy Navarrete, that's what I'm gonna go with today, people. She is amazing in this movie. I mean, in a day and age where horror movie characters are getting nominated, like Aunt Gladys from Weapons, I don't see any reason why she does not get nominated for this role. I mean, holy fuck. I don't want to say she carries the movie, because obviously the writing is great. The guy that plays Bear is great. He gives an amazing performance too. So it's not that she carries it, but holy shit does she elevate, for sure. I don't know. This is one of those roles similar to like a Pearl, with Mia Goth, where it's just like, I don't know if anyone else could have done this role. Definitely not even as close to as good. I mean, she just killed it. I mean, the things she brings to this role, the physicality, the way she delivers her lines. I mean, everything she does in this movie is so goddamn freaky. And it's great because this movie doesn't rely on cheap jump scares and a lot of the sort of cheap horror movie tropes that they get you to jump out of your seat. They don't rely on that, man. A lot of good stuff in here. We'll do a quick synopsis of the movie. If you don't want spoilers, stop here. We're gonna get into spoilers, or actually, I'll do a little brief description of the movie. If you don't want more than that, get out of here. All right. And then we're going to start talking about the movie. Brief description. We have our character named Bear. And he has a little crush on a friend of his named Nikki. Now, him and Nikki are pretty close. They're really good friends, I would say. And they sort of are in an existing friend group between two other friends of theirs, Ian and Sarah. And the movie starts. Bear is practicing admitting his love to Nikki. But it's not actually Nikki, it's just a girl from the diner that he's practicing on with his buddy Ian. I thought that was funny at the beginning. And eventually, Bear finds his way at a thrift store. He's going to buy Nikki a gift because she, I believe, lost her necklace or something. So he's going to get her a new necklace. But instead, he stumbles upon an odd gift called a One-Wish Willow at this sort of weird, wacky, just sort of, mom and pop, like, antique store. And, you know, the person at the store is all weird. They're like, you fucking make a wish, don't come back here complaining, cause we'll send you packing. And he's like, what do you mean? You know, why do people get mad about their wishes? Do they not work or something? Or people die when they make their wish? Subtle foreshadowing. And yeah, so we go down the line, you know, sort of night with Ian, Nikki, and all the friends. Bear's gonna drive Nikki home. He's about to admit that he likes her, but he can't because he's kind of a chud and he can't, you know, he's just too nervous to admit his feelings, so he backs out. And right as Nikki leaves, he decides, you know, just sort of on a whim, to make a little magical wish that Nikki Friedman would love him more than anybody in the fucking world. And that's the wish he makes, and then he snaps the one wish willow, and boy has our movie started and departed. For those that don't want more, that's what I'll leave you with. It's sort of be careful what you wish for. He makes a wish, and things happen. That is what I'll say for now. If you don't want more spoilers, I'm going into spoilers, okay? Okay. So spoiler territory, Sarah gets her fucking head pounded in. Okay. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back. This movie's insane, man. There's some really creepy fucking scenes. I mean, there's some scenes in this movie that have stayed with me since I've left the theater. When she's in that goddamn corner of the room being like, "You're so cute when you sleep." Bitch! I don't care how cute I look when I sleep. Don't tell me that, you freaky fucker. Nikki's scary in this, man. Yeah, it's sort of I don't even want to say a slow burn, because once that wish gets made, it's sort of go, 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 I feel like the whole season. I love that. This movie's very in your face. It's very mean-spirited, this movie. It's very mean. Very mean, this movie. After the wish is made, things just get worse and worse and progressively worse, you know? I like that there's a part in the movie where we sort of do a time lapse where shit's just sort of all chilling. We get like a little friendly, like, couples time lapse of like how happy they are. They're cooking in the kitchen together. They're making AI photos of each other. I mean, they couldn't be more goddamn happy, people. Until we fast forward to the scene where she's watching him in the corner of the room. Crying violently, and then does that weird backwards walk that all made us violently uncomfortable when we saw it in theaters. Very simple yet effective, because I'm sure all they did was just reverse the footage, but damn, does it work, man. I mean, it doesn't rely on, I think they do this maybe once in the film, but I hate in horror movies where they just turn the volume up to fucking max and just blare the loudest sound in your ears and go, "Gotcha! Gotcha, fucker!" It's like, yeah, you got me. You scared the shit out of me by, yeah, good job. You got me. Yeah, I'm blanking on the name. I think it's I feel like I'm saying Ian because I feel like the dude that plays Bear, his name is Ian, but I could be wrong. Like Ian Johnston or something like that. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'll look it up later and realize I was dumb. Or that I got it right. But he's amazing in this as well. I mean, he does a great job of sort of bordering the line between... I mean, we'll get to the discussion of sort of Bear's... You know, that's a huge discussion of this movie, is whether Bear was in the wrong or not. But besides that point, I liked that at the in my opinion on that, I liked that at the beginning of the movie, they do a good job of the beginning of the movie is a very relatable guy. Like, sure, like, what guy hasn't, you know, been socially awkward and, you know, had a hard time telling a girl that he liked her? You know, it's a very relatable subject. Which is what's so good about the movies. They get you in, they're like, I can relate to this guy. Until you can't. You know what I mean? So, yeah, let's get into that conversation of... I mean, there's a very... I don't even want to talk about it. There's a very disturbing scene in the movie where it violently just cuts to Bear and Nikki having sex, and Nikki's face is so horrifying. I don't even want to think about it. It's so, like, gross to even think about. But Nikki's face is, like, completely blank, emotionless, just sort of laying still, sort of implying that, like, you know, while doing something like this, that the real Nikki inside is just sort of being held captive during this whole thing. And it's very unsettling, the whole thing. And, you know, I also think that's just such an interesting concept to play with, of that Nikki's not necessarily possessed. You know, it's not like this entity that jumps from person to person has, like, taken her over, you know. It's just, it's hard to explain, but what happens when you make a wish that sort of messes with someone's, you know, free will, almost? Like, what does that do to a person? Obviously, this movie, you know, has a great commentary on... I think this movie deals with a lot of great commentary. You know, putting someone up on a pedestal. You know, being obsessed with somebody to an unhealthy point. Control in a relationship. I mean, these are things that have been talked about in horror movies before, but not in a way like this that I thought was very interesting. I really liked it. Yet again, with the whole monkey's paw idea, careful what you wish for. We've seen that a million times. I mean, there's a whole show about it, god damn it. Fucking Fairly Odd Parents. But Curry Barker managed to, you know, put his voice into this one and make it unique. But yeah, if you were to ask me, you know, if Bear was in the wrong, I feel like the answer is quite obviously yes. And to those who don't see him as a villain, there's probably two sides. There's one that are people that are probably just blissfully ignorant and don't have much film literacy and are just like, probably just think Nikki's fucking crazy and just think she's possessed by a demon and are like, oh, kill the bitch. Which, sure, whatever. And then there are people that genuinely think, you know, that understand everything that's going on, but just still think that Bear is a victim in the whole thing, and I just don't feel like you can make that argument, you know, especially there's certain scenes in the film. I mean, the moment that really got it for me was when Bear's trying to escape and the real Nikki comes out while, you know, freaky Nikki's sleeping, and she's like, kill me, Bear. She's begging Bear to kill her because she's suffering so much she doesn't even want to be here. And Bear's response is, what's so bad about being with me? I mean, holy fuck, could that have been a worse, just insane, psychotic response? And just kind of goes to show that Bear, you know, never really loved Nikki. Especially the scene where he's like, Nikki, you just gotta be less weird. Like, he's just trying to change her to fit this version of her that he had in his head, which she's not. You know, even when he makes the call to alter the wish, he doesn't want to change, he doesn't want to cancel the wish, he wants to fucking alter it. What a piece of shit. And then even in the end, when he goes to kill himself, he tries to puke it all up and he pushes out. Yeah, man, Bear's not a good guy. He's just not. So, yeah, I don't know how that discussion has sort of garnered so much controversy. I feel like everyone should kind of be on the same page. Anywho, I love this movie, man. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I just think it's a perfect movie. I think the pacing's incredible. The acting's amazing. There's some great scares in there. It's me personally, I don't get scared watching horror movies. Not really. You know, jump scares get me, obviously. But I don't find myself, you know, being too freaked out by horror movies. But this got me. I don't know what it was. It got under my skin. The whole time, I was on the edge of my seat. I really enjoyed this movie. And I'm very excited to see what Curry Barker brings to the world of horror after this. I know he apparently is working on a Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot, which I'm fucking down for that. Let the kid do anything at this point. I'll watch it. Yeah, we'll talk about the ending a little bit. It ends, Bear tries to end himself. Freaky Nikki gets a one-wish Willow, makes a wish that Bear loves her more than anybody, I assume. And so Bear comes out of the bathroom, and you think they're going to be in love together. both obsessed, will ya? And Bear ends up ODing. And Freaky Nikki is holding him, screaming in her arms, until she snaps out of it. Because Bear is dead. So the wish is gone. And she starts just screaming, man, and it's a really mean-spirited ending. It's a realistic ending, but boy is it just sad and mean-spirited. And it just ends with the camera sort of panning to the TV as the screams of Indy Navarrete play in the background. I mean, it is just a chilling ending. I thought it was pretty funny when Ian got shot in the head. That was good. I liked that. It was a good, effective kill. It happened so fast. One of the craziest movie lines I've ever heard in a movie recently is when Nikki is screaming at Bear that she's gonna stick the barrel of the gun up her pussy and pull the trigger. That was a wild one. That really got me. And then proceeds to throw up in his face, which, if that's not love, folks, I don't know what is. So, yeah, Obsession. If you haven't seen it, which I'm very surprised, go see it. It's available to rent or buy. And what I will say about Obsession is, because there's a lot of people saying this movie is overrated. And they just flat out hated this movie. And I can't stop those people from hating the movie. If you don't like the movie, you don't like the movie. That's fine. However, I saw this movie pretty quick when it came out. So a lot of the attention that was garnered around it didn't really hit me till after I had seen it. So my advice to you would be, you know, as much greatness as you've heard about this movie, go in with your own set of expectations, you know. Everyone, personally, yeah, this was the best movie of 2026 so far for me. Best horror movie I've seen in a long time. One of the better horror movies I've seen in years. But that's me. Go into it with your own opinion, okay? It's a small budget horror movie. And just, yeah, try and go in with your own set of views and expectations, and I think you'll be a little less disappointed if it's not the magnum opus masterpiece that maybe everyone has been describing. Because I can definitely see, I mean, there's just been so much talk about this movie. I could see maybe going into it and it's not as mind-blowingly, you know, insane as one may think from the response that this movie has garnered. But other than that, I genuinely do think this is a great movie. If you like horror movies, I don't see how you don't get enjoyment out of this. So, yeah, Obsession Man 2026. I'm gonna keep my eyes out for that Curry Barker. Because he knows what he's doing. So, we're nearing the end here. I like that. Both episodes have sort of been around the same amount of time. Seems like we do 15 minutes sort of pre-movie talk, 15 minutes of movie talk. In and out, baby. That's how we like to do it. You know, these podcasts are hours long. What are you doing, people? You're sitting in a room talking to yourself for hours? I'm not. I may be lonely, but I'm not insane. That's not true. I'm still here alone in my room talking to myself like a bit of a weirdo. Anywho, I'm not sure what the next episode will be. I think it'd be fun to do it. I think the newer theatrical releases are always fun to talk about. But for now, I still have not come up with an outro since the time from the first episode and this episode, which has quite literally been a day. I figured I could pump these out pretty quick if I just record a bunch, and then I could release them slowly as the weeks go on. Isn't that smart thinking, people? Work smarter, not harder. I feel like a lazy person came up with that fucking quote now. But that's okay. What would be what's a good outro? And you know what? For Obsession, just for Obsession, to all my little food critics, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you haven't already. Because we're going to be coming out with new episodes all the time. And if you want good movie news, reliable movie opinions, come here and we'll send you in the right way. We'll tell you what to watch, what not to watch. all that jazz. So, thanks for listening, people. This is the Guy Who Likes Movies podcast. I'm the guy who likes movies. Keep it clean.